The sombre sound of the half-muffled bells of the Collegiate Church of St. Mary in Warwick remind us that today is Remembrance Sunday. It's the day when we commemorate the men and women who've been killed in 2 world wars and other armed conflicts past and present. And it's our opportunity to reflect on the sacrifice they made in the service of their country. And we have stories from around the country as we remember the forgotten heroes of World War II, those who stayed true to their beliefs in wartime, and the cost of conflict for today's soldiers, plus hymns for Remembrance Sunday. The town's castle and 3 military museums are evidence that Warwick does have a long military history, and you can see this here at St. Mary's Church as well, particularly in the regimental chapel and at the cenotaph. Music's always an important part of any act of remembrance, and we begin with a hymn by Isaac Watts based on the opening verses of Psalm 90. The psalm and the hymn both contrast the frailty and transience of human life with God's eternal nature. In May this year, veterans gathered in Liverpool to commemorate the 70th anniversary of the battle for Britain's Second World War lifeline, the Battle of the Atlantic. German U-boats hunted in packs to destroy the merchant ships bringing cargoes of food, raw materials and oil on which Britain's survival depended. The men who served on these convoys are among the forgotten heroes of the Second World War. Ted Rogers was on his first voyage on the Alfred Jones when disaster struck.
We were about 120 miles off Freetown, and we'd reduced speed and we weren't even zigzagging. We thought it was a safe area. The lookout on the crow's nest shouted, "Torpedoes on the starboard bow." And I looked, and there were 4 coming at us. 2 of them hit us. A tremendous explosion, and the ship went on fire. And then the captain gave the order to abandon ship, and I got into this lifeboat, and they lowered it down, and it got stuck in the 'tween decks, and it was damaged. It got down into the water, and it sank. I jumped in the sea and swam to a raft. And it was made out of slats on drums, and the sharks were coming up underneath.
Ted and his fellow merchant seamen were finally rescued after spending 4 whole days at sea on the life raft. But the war wasn't over.
What was more harrowing, in a way, were the convoy battles I was in. We got worn out because we were on double watches, that's 4 on and 4 off. So you hardly ever got any sleep for days. And as time went on like that, you know, you felt more and more sort of tense. Sleep deprivation, and then, you know, the danger all the time of being torpedoed. And, I mean, we lost almost half the convoy each time.
World War II ended, but the experience of being torpedoed on that first voyage had changed Ted's life forever. He felt called to train as a Jesuit priest and was ordained in 1958.
I thought the priesthood was a way of helping people. You know, your life has been saved, really. What can you do to thank God? What can you offer? What can you offer yourself?
Next year marks the centenary of the start of the First World War. The cenotaph here at St Mary's stands as a memorial to more than 11,000 members of the Royal Warwickshire Regiment who fell in the unimaginable slaughter of the conflict. One of the most extraordinary figures to emerge from the Great War was the Reverend Geoffrey Stoddart Kennedy. He enlisted as a chaplain and became greatly respected by the troops, who gave him the nickname Woodbine Willie because of the cigarettes he handed out to them in the trenches. In 1917, he was awarded the Military Cross after he ran through heavy fire to collect morphine for injured soldiers. After the war, he became the church's best-known speaker and social evangelist. He was also a poet, and in 1921 he published a collection which included a poem called At a Harvest Festival. The last 3 verses of that poem provide the words of our next hymn.